If you are studying analysis and specifically titrations, end point and equivalence point are the two terms you might be hearing frequently, and many of the times they are used interchangeably. But is there any difference between them? We are going to find out in this video. So watch the video till the end. Welcome to B Pharma Wise. So to understand the difference between end point and equivalence point, let us take an example. Suppose I am titrating HCl, which is a strong acid, with NaOH, which is a strong base. Let's take it very simple. Let's keep it very simple. Understand with this example, HCl is a strong acid, NaOH is a strong base, and you are titrating this. Now, titration means you are reacting this strong acid with this strong base, right? So, you need to add something which will detect the completion of reaction. So, here I will be using an indicator, and let's say we are using phenolphthalein indicator. Now, this indicator, what it will do? It will have a clear, distinct visual color change when the reaction between both of these is complete. So, in acidic medium, this phenolphthalein is, colorless, right? The structure is such a way that it is colorless. And when the medium turns basic, this color changes to pink. Now, this we know that we have used an indicator which is going to change its color at the completion of reaction or when the pH changes from acidic to basic. Now, let's understand very simply. Just imagine for the sake of understanding, just imagine that there are 100 molecules of HCl in the conical flask, and your NaOH is coming down and reacting with those 100 molecules of HCl. Now, what will happen? Initially, only HCl will be there in the conical flask, so pH is obviously going to be acidic. As the NaOH will fall down, the HCl molecules will react with NaOH molecules and neutralization will happen, which will lead to formation of salt and water, right? So, as we progress, the pH is going to gradually rise. Then a point will come when the last 100th molecule of HCl will be neutralized by last 100th molecule of NaOH. Now, what is there? Now, no more HCl is left in the conical flask. You are only left with NaCl and water. Now, NaCl is a salt, and it is a salt of strong acid, strong base. So, it will be having a neutral pH, right? So, the pH will be 7. At this point, the reaction of the 100 molecules of HCl, whatever concentration or whatever amount you have taken in the conical flask, it is completely reacted with your titrant. This is the point where your reaction is actually complete, and this point is referred as equivalence point, or it is also called as stoichiometric end point. It is a theoretical point where the reaction between your titrate or analyte and titrant is complete, right? It is theoretically over, but we are not able to actually detect this point practically. Why? Because at equivalence point, as I told you, the pH has gone to neutral value, and at neutral value, my indicator is not going to show me the color change. So, when the next extra drop of NaOH falls down, say the next first molecule of NaOH falls down, now there is only salt and water, and when the NaOH will fall down, it will make the solution basic. And as the solution turns basic, my indicator is going to change its structure so that it can show pink color, right? So, after the medium turns basic, I have detected the color change. My indicator has shown me the color change from colorless to pink, and that is the point I am going to practically record, right? So, that point is called as end point, and it is a practical point where completion of reaction is recorded. So, equivalence point is achieved when the equivalents of acids and base are completely reacted. That is equivalence point, but it is theoretical. We are not going to detect it. And end point is the point where actually I am going to practically detect the endpoint by visually observing the color change. So as you must have guessed, there going to be a small gap between equivalence point and endpoint, and this small gap is referred as titration error. Are you getting it? So this is what endpoint and equivalence point is. Now in many of the cases we will be using the term endpoint itself, because that is what we are going to practically see, right? That is going to be the volume we will be recording. That will be going to be our burette volume, burette reading. So many of the times we are going to use the term endpoint, but you should know that equivalence point is achieved a bit earlier than the endpoint, and it is the actual theoretical completion of the reaction, and after that you will be having your endpoint, and the difference is going to be called titration error. So I hope the difference between endpoint and equivalence point is clear. Also, what is titration error, that also we have discussed. So I hope the concept is clear. Let's meet with such a new interesting concept in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.